So, you got my money?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to 10K Bets. You may notice just a two-man crew tonight. We had some ridiculous takes from both of our missing suspects tonight. Cam saying he had Wisconsin in his Final Four, and then Renz, of course, last week coming out and saying the biggest upset of the tournament would be Nebraska over the Houston Cougars.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they wouldn't show tonight to speak for themselves. So here with me, I've got Sammy Stats. Sammy, how are we doing?
Good, man. Good. What are we on to? Sweet 16. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm doing well. It was a pretty fun opening round and round of 32s. A lot of really exciting games that we'll get into. But yeah, no, it's going well.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, a little bit of an up and down for first couple of days of the tournament for me. I mean, I tried not to overplay and play too many games. I did have to dip down to Iowa to snag a couple tickets. For the first day of the tournament, I had Michigan State. So I started off hot and I'm like, oh yeah, we're winning every bet.
Oh yeah.
And I did not win another bet on Thursday. So it was not the way we wanted to start things out. And then I started day two with the same attitude. I was like, all right, we got a Northwestern dub.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did not win another bet the rest of the day. So luckily I did diversify a little bit. I did some underdog entries and those treated me pretty well. But yeah, I mean, so can't complain. I just love Thursday, Friday, those first couple of days of March Madness. You get everything. So I'm super juiced about the Sweet 16. But yeah, how would the bets go for you on that?
Yeah. So we did this like taking every underdog on the money line, which actually worked out pretty well. I believe there was the most underdogs in that opening round that won outright in a while. So it went well. Unfortunately, I pretty much threw it all back on the round of 32s. There just wasn't a ton of underdogs winning. I was taking not like all of them on the money line, but just like 3 or 4 of them on the spread, and they just so happened to get killed. So, you know, it is what it is. It was fun, though. It was really sweaty. Obviously, you're like kind of in between about, am I going to get killed here? Am I going to make money? How is this going to work? And then as soon as like the favorites winning, it's like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to get a dog. What's going to happen? But no, it was fun. It was obviously it keeps you really engaged for every single game. But no, it worked out well. I was pleased with the decision.
Yeah. Of course, Veach had to throw it in the chat. Yes, I was on Nebraska. Yes, but I didn't pick them to not just win in the first round and the second round. That was Renz, you know. So hopefully he'll be on here soon to.
Veach didn't really like my Alabama take, but they look kind of good. Just throwing that out there, Veach. But yeah, no, it'll be fun. Sweet 16 is pretty much filled with awesome matchups. It'll be great. And you know, I'm excited to see what games are going to be the best kind of thing. But I got a couple that I think are going to be really, really good back and forth. Couple plays there I like. So
nice.
But, yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, no. So I had to say, so yeah, winning bets is hard. Like, but one thing that was very easy for me over the weekend was the underdog pick'ems. So I got to say, the easiest way to make money is with the underdogs pick'em game. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite player stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Underdog keeps it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile apps. You pick between 2 and 5 players, fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and then take home cold, hard cash. Use code 10K and get your first deposit doubled up to $100 with Underdog Fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I had to throw that plug in there. And I wholeheartedly meaning I 5x'd my bankroll this weekend. It was amazing. Thursday night, it was a tough start. I had 2 entries that missed, both on Kentucky players. So that was great. And then Friday night, I hit 2 3-leggers. So $20 each and netted 280 on that. So 300.
Yeah, no, you've been red hot on the underdogs for sure. And typically I'm a guy that just likes to do the 2-leggers, just like higher risk. But yeah, I mean, you've been crushing the 3-leggers. I would just stay with those.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a little harder now that you've seen all these guys play 2 games in the tournament, so they can sharpen up their lines a little bit. But there's definitely some value out there. I got to say, one entry. This was Sunday night, the end of the night. That crazy Texas A&M and Houston game. I had 2 legs cashed, and I had 1 third leg left, and it was Wade Taylor for Texas A&M. He had 1 point at halftime.
Yeah, I saw that. He had a crazy second half.
I had him going higher on points, and I can't remember. It was 17.5, I think. And I'm like, oh, great. Burn that one. Throw that one in the burn pile. And he's like 5 for 24, something like that from the field. And somehow miraculously cashes in overtime. And
well, he hit a few threes, and then he was getting fouled, so he was hitting his free throws. And obviously those add up. When they start going. So yeah, no, I've been a part of a couple of those where like I've taken some ED points and he'll have like 2 buckets at halftime, but then they just feed him second half. He gets fouled a ton. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's at 17 points or something.
Yeah. The free throw merchant, Zach Edey of Purdue. And that was crazy because I had his, I think that was one of the other legs that I had hit, whereas his rebounds and assists. So yeah, I mean, it really is underdog really is the easiest way to get in on the action because you're just picking higher or lower. I feel like I fry my brain sometimes trying to get on the right side of the spread or make sure I have a little bit of find out where I have the edge. And there's so many smart people betting on sports that's it's hard for dumb guys like me to make money sometimes. So underdog has saved me. Could have been a colossally bad weekend, turned it into a good one for me. So yeah. So I mean, did you have any other thoughts on early rounds, first 2 rounds of the tournament? Things you're looking at going into the Sweet 16 here?
I would just say, obviously, the 2 upsets were pretty awesome. I mean, Oakland played terrific against Kentucky. Obviously, that Dolke cat had, 12 3-pointers versus Kentucky, kept them in it the entire game. That was a really fun game. Obviously, the Yale game was pretty crazy, too. I'm pretty sure Auburn probably should have won that game 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times, and they just kind of threw it away. But Yale, that was really fun. Sadly, both those teams got crushed. I guess not Oakland. Oakland went to overtime in their second game. They ended up losing by like 6 or 7. NC State, team of destiny, maybe. Yale got crushed versus SDSU. Those were some really fun opening round games. And then there was just like a handful of really good games too. I mean, we definitely got our money's worth per se on watching so many of them. I'm excited for the Sweet 16. It's nonstop awesome matchups, pretty much down the line. A lot of really small spreads. So it should be fun.
Yeah, I'd say my takeaway from the first couple rounds is actually I was wrong about NC State. I thought that they would be so gassed. I thought they would be done. I mean, DJ Burns Jr., he is electric. He is awesome, absolutely everything you want to see in March Madness. The dude is dominant. He looks like an N1 mixtape out there. Like, I don't know. Anytime he gets the ball, he will just put you in a blender. It's crazy to see a guy that big.
He's an awesome passer, too. That's the other thing. Like, he can dish the rock so well where the defense collapses on him down low, and then he'll just throw it out to the wing or the perimeter, and the guys will knock down their shots. I mean, he's just electric. Like, You can't really play defense on him, it seems like, or you got to just try to go one-on-one, try to protect the perimeter, and then hopefully he's got kind of a bad game or something. But he's really fun to watch. NC State, I keep thinking they're going to lose, and they just don't. They just keep finding ways to win. And then here they are, an 11 seed in their conference tournament is now in the Sweet 16.
Oh man, it's crazy. Every time we talked about it last weekend, it's like just doesn't sound right.
I know it's weird, but hey, that's March, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's anything can happen. Teams can get hot. We've seen it. NC State being prime example. So really fun. I really hope they have another one in them.
Marquette,
we'll see if
who knows?
Yeah, we'll see if they match up okay with them. But I mean, just to be where they're at right now is pretty cool.
Yeah, they played a lot of basketball in the last week and a half.
A ton.
So
they got to be just so gassed.
That's what I keep saying. I was like, are they gassed? And I don't know. Maybe they just like fueled on vibes and momentum right now. Like,
yeah.
And I'd be crazy if it carried them through. But yeah, I mean, just to look at Veach's comment down here real quick, making the comment on the Purdue's boring brand of basketball, which it is. Zach Edey is kind of a free throw merchant. You throw it in the room, he does his little hook shot. Someone hacks him in the arm. Yep, sick.
Goes to the line, the whole deal. It's boring. But I mean, it seems like they just can do no wrong doing it. So they're going to continue to do it as long as they can. I mean, it's the Zach Edey show. And until somebody can stop the fact of him getting 20 to 30 points a game, Purdue's going to keep rolling. If they can continue to do what they have been doing, I mean, they're scary. And it's crazy because I thought there was another chance that they were going to lose opening round like they've done the last, I don't know how many years. But no, I mean, it seems like they really have it all going right now on both sides of the ball. It should be fun to see how far they can go. I mean, honestly, if Edey has a bad game, though, they might be cooked. So it just kind of depends really solely on his play.
Right. And I'd say, so Gopher basketball, when they had a pulse to them a few years ago, I remember they did this strategy against Iowa when Luka Garza was around, where they said, we'll welcome Luka Garza in the paint and we'll just let him get his every time. We're not going to foul him. We're just going to let him, work a little bit for a layup and then make him run back down the floor. And it worked. I remember they beat him at the barn one time. I think Luka had like 32 points or something like that. And they were all 2-point shots. He didn't go out on the perimeter because they just ate buckets. And I think that's how you're going to have to beat this Purdue team, because we're kind of iffy on the guards. We don't know how great they are. Really, it's just been the Zach Edey show. Really for the most part. So
he's been dominant. He really has. It's tough to. I mean, if you put a couple guys on him, obviously your chances of stopping him are stronger. But even then, I mean, he just is.
He's a good passer.
He's just incredible. It's tough to then leave a wide open triple on the perimeter there. So it's tough. It'll be interesting to see how teams guard him down the stretch here after seeing obviously the whole season and then a couple of games in March kind of Purdue's game plan with him, which obviously is a lot. So it'll be interesting to see if somebody can, put a wrench in his game.
Yeah. And I guess on the contrary side, so staying in the Big Ten, but a team that doesn't play a boring brand of basketball, Illinois, which I think they've been the most enjoyable team for me to watch in this tournament so far. Terrence Shannon Jr., absolutely lighting it up. He's averaging 30 points a game.
Yeah, he's
from the Big Ten tournament into this tournament, and it's just absolutely insane. You have Dane Danger, the Minnesota native, absolutely crushing it right now, giving him good minutes off the bench. Domask, absolutely everything he touches turns to gold lately. There is some questions about their defense. So if they get past Iowa State, I believe they'd play the winner of the UConn game.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Honestly, I've been kind of impressed. I watched a good amount of Illinois games throughout the season. The defense they're playing now, the defense they played in the conference tournament and now has been miles better than what they were playing in the regular season. Will that be enough? I'm not sure. But I think they've gotten better on the defensive side, and obviously they can score at will. It's just, can they continue to get stronger on D and do what they're doing on offense? You got to put it all together in these games, obviously. So it'll be interesting. That line is -1 in favor of Iowa State. I actually really do like Illinois here. I also like the over. I think there's going to be a good amount of points scored. Both offenses can shoot, but I do think that Illinois, I think they can get past this game. I don't know if I'm going to bet them, but I think they have an upper hand on Iowa State a little bit, especially on offense. But you never know. It's tough. It's basically a pick'em game. Obviously, we saw Iowa State completely dominate Houston less than a week ago or whatever. So it'll be a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, and like I said, so Terrence Shannon is averaging 30 a game in tournament play. His underdog line right now is 23.5. I mean, the first thing I saw came out was 21.5 points. And it's like, all right, I know Iowa State's defense is good. That's embarrassing. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
They took it down today. And now they have 23.5 points and assists. So if you don't think I'm not smashing that, you're crazy. I'm absolutely going to put it in there. And it leads to my next question for you is, so now that I've 5x'd my bankroll, what do I like? Do I keep going with that bread and butter three-legger, or do I, up my entry a little bit and do some two-leggers and maybe?
Yeah, no, it's kind of a tough decision, right? Because you've been smacking them with the three-leggers. It's like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. But also, I'm a huge advocator for the two-leggers. I absolutely love them. I like throwing a little more on it, and then obviously you're not winning as much as you would for the three-legger, but it's less risk. So if it was me, I would be dropping it to maybe a $50, $100 entry and just do two plays you really, really like. And then maybe do a couple of those, whether it's, whether you put the same guys in two different ones or however you want to do it, maybe mix it up, maybe round robin it kind of thing. But yeah, no, I would just probably keep doing what you're doing. Maybe do a little bit of both, maybe do a three-legger, couple three-leggers, lower risk, higher payout. And then maybe a couple two-leggers, higher risk, lower payout. So, yeah.
No, I agree. I agree entirely. And that's the nice thing about, having more coins to play with is that you have the flexibility. So, if I want to bet bigger and put 100 on something when I've been putting 20 on it all last week, I have the flexibility to do that. And then I won't lose my ass if that goes south for any reason. Yeah. I can still, I don't know. It's been the last month or month and a half that I've just been putting $20 on three-leggers, and they've been coming in. And like, I'd be crazy to say everything I touched turned to green last weekend, but it felt pretty damn close. I mean, I hit 6 entries over the weekend. I think I was like 6 for 14. I mean, you throw a couple $20 losers in there, but still you're coming out with a crazy profit.
100%. I would definitely I'd take whatever you started with as far as just like what you put in with your account and then take that out so that at worst you're just going to go even throughout the tournament and then just play with your profit kind of thing. That seems to be like the smartest play.
Safest,
or even, I mean, because you've been crushing it, maybe take out what you bought in with times 2 so that you for sure doubled up your money, and then just kind of go from there, see how the round of 16s go. But yeah, I mean, it seems like whatever you do right now, you can't go wrong with it. So yeah, I would just say keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Underdog's going to adjust, so I'm going to have to adjust as well.
Yeah.
But let's get into some of these Sweet 16 games. I mean, we start off with Clemson and Arizona. Arizona favored by 7.5. And then we have, what's our total here? 151.5. So I think that's kind of a high total. First,
It is.
That's my first knee-jerk reaction.
Honestly, with this one, I'm lucky enough where I still have my Arizona future alive. So obviously I want them to win, but 7.5 to me for a Clemson team that has played 2 very good games in a row. Part of me thinks that Clemson 7.5 is the bet that I would personally take. But Arizona's a weird team, right? Because their first game, they were like down 3 or 4 to Long Beach State, and then they just turned the Jets on and ended up boat racing them. And then the second game, they got up to like I think a 17-point lead on Dayton, and then they just kind of let Dayton crawl back, and they ended up winning. Arizona ended up winning by I think 9 or 10.
They barely covered, right? I think it was 9 or 9.
Covered. It came down to the last second. So I would say I'm not sure that Arizona has played their best game yet. It kind of seems like they haven't. Whereas Clemson, I think possibly has played 2 extremely solid games in the tournament here, and maybe they regress a little bit. But I still think I'd take them with 7.5 personally. But yeah, I mean, that'll be fun. It's also a game, if you like overs, it's a little high total, but it's that for a reason. Both these teams can absolutely fill it up. I don't really know if a lot of defense is going to be played in this one. Doesn't seem like it. So 152 might not be that bad. I mean, we've seen 75, no problem. So that's kind of my take on that game.
There you go. That's fair enough. Yeah, for those of you guys watching on Twitter, we can't see your comments. If you want to chat along, join us over on YouTube. We'll answer your questions, read off your comments. We love hearing from the crowd. I don't know. I think 7.5 is too much. This is a stay away game for me. I will say about Arizona, I think they'll just go as far as Caleb Love takes them.
Yeah.
And they are a sneaky team that I would like to see I think because they would play. Are they Houston's on the other side of that bracket?
Possibly. Let me double check that. Let's see.
West region. So yeah, that's got to be them. Nope. Houston's
no,
south.
I didn't think it was, but I was
Marquette and NC State. So yeah, they have a nice path if they win. Because I think that, man, if NC State wins this weekend, if they win on Friday night, I think they might be a team of destiny. Like, you got to just put that on.
I know.
They might be playing for a natty.
They're going to get the win. If they win, they're going to get the winner of Alabama UNC. So that should be really interesting. I mean, I was on Michigan State Izzo in March when they played UNC, and UNC just cooked them. So
man, so
they might be really good. Yeah. I mean, they are. They're good. It's just, will they be able to bring it all at one time? That'll be a really fun game. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think for me, we don't need to spend a lot of time on this next game because I don't think anyone's picking San Diego State. But I'll say real quick, Tristan Newton, if you're looking on Underdog, his points, rebounds, and assists is 27.5, which is 1 up from what it was last week. But he's clearing it no problem. So San Diego State is a little bit better of a defensive team, but I do like. I don't know if that was one of the weirdest like first round games, San Diego State, and I honestly think it's a little bit of a miracle here because I forget what the forward's name is, but he's their whole team. He just
isn't it Leday?
Yeah, Leday. Yep, and
Leday?
the San Diego State's guards are awful, and it's like I don't understand how it's happening.
Well, it shows that defense gets you a lot in this tournament. If you play solid defense, like San Diego State, I mean, they went to the national championship last year, and their defense was incredible, right? I mean, it's not like they were scoring 80 or 90 a game. They were scoring 65, 68, but their defense was only allowing 55. I mean, that's incredible. So in that game, I do think UConn just smokes them. I think they're just too talented. They have too many scores. San Diego State's not going to be able to score with them, and I don't know how long they're going to last trying to play good defense on UConn. So I mean the spread's 11. That's kind of tough to touch there, but I do think that it's I wouldn't be surprised if they won by 20. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at this a little closer, in basketball, in NFL, you get 6-point teaser. Basketball, you get 4-point teaser. I actually really like a 4-team teaser on Thursday night where you Arizona.
I haven't even dipped into any basketball teasers, maybe ever.
Yeah, it's something I'll get into every once in a while. But here, if you go Arizona and then you go UConn, so you get UConn at 6 or 7 points, depending on 6.5 or 7 points.
Yeah.
And then within the Alabama game, you can push them up to plus 8.5.
Yeah.
Or 9, depending on where that line's at right now. And then Illinois is already a dog. You can get another few points on them, and if that's going to be a low score, so I don't know. That's an interesting 4-team teaser. If you're,
I would definitely do spreads on that. I would never tell anybody to tease an over under because those are so like 4 points in basketball. Like it seems like
it's going to hit on its own. It's going to hit on its own in the NFL or football. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would just, if you're gonna tease, I think you would just stick it with spreads. I would not like tease an under up 4 points because it's just 4 points. I mean, you can hit that with ease on a game. It seems like it's not really that much of an advantage. But if you're doing spread, I do like spread a whole lot better.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I guess that kind of is a good segue into that Alabama North Carolina game where we got to start off with the total here, 173.5.
Yeah.
Are you feeling dangerous, Sammy? Are you going to take the over on this one?
I had a personal challenge. I actually took the Bama under against Grand Canyon, and it flew under. What
was it, like 90, 93 or something like that?
It was like hardly 100 points. Let me go back to that. I think that was on Saturday's game. Or maybe it was Sunday's game. Yeah, there was it was 133 is what they finished with, and the total was 174. So that's 40 points shy of the total. Bama played some defense. It was crazy. It was like something I haven't seen in a while. I didn't even know they were, capable of locking down a little bit, especially because Grand Canyon hasn't really had any problems in the scoring department. I really thought that total could have easily went to 200, but I said personal challenge here. Let's see if we can see some defense, and we did. I think that's a very high total. I'm not sure if Alabama can play 2 games in a row like that on the defensive side. And I just know they're probably going to fill it up too. So that one's scary. I'm not sure if I would if I would even get involved with that total.
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely too rich for my blood as well. I think in this one, screw the points. Give me the Bama money line there. That's what I'm thinking on this game.
Yep. I luckily I have a Bama ticket I think it's 30-1, somewhere around there. So hopefully, I mean, they got to get by UNC, obviously. I hope UNC has an off game. That's pretty much all I can really hope for here. I think, if UNC plays that kind of up and down game, they're probably going to have a decent advantage over Alabama, but you never know because Alabama can score like 12 points in a minute whenever they want.
Yes.
So it's just tough. I'm really excited to see how the defense, if there is any, because that'll definitely shift who's going to have the advantage. If Alabama plays some defense again, I love them here.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, Mark Sears has been the guy I've been watching on Bama all year, and his so I looked at his underdog total for points. It's 22, just as it was last week. Love that. I might throw that with Terrence Shannon Jr. and I might just put 100 on that as a two-legger to go out there. So
a lot, actually.
Yeah, not much else to say about that game. I think honestly, if Bama plays their way, they can beat anybody. If they when they're scoring at will, they can beat anybody, and it is dangerous. You got to be sweating a little bit if you're North Carolina, even as a 1 seed.
Yeah.
To see Bama start to turn a corner a little bit playing some defense, because that's the whole package. Right? That's exactly what I wanted to see Kentucky do, honestly, is just show up and play some defense. And that clearly did not happen. But yeah, let's we kind of
even on that, just that take there, Alabama allowed 61 points last game. They haven't allowed that in about 2.5 months, where they beat South Alabama, third game of the season, 102-46.
So November.
So yeah, 11-14. Then the second lowest they allowed was last game at 61. So if they start playing, if they just all of a sudden turn a leaf and they just start playing defense, I mean, all their other games are absolute shootouts. 105-87, 92-88, 88-102, 109-96. I mean, they're absolute blowouts as far as for the total. But if they start playing a little defense, this could be a really fun Alabama team to get behind. It just, I don't know. We'll see what defensive team shows up.
Yeah, absolutely. That one does excite me. But yeah, my favorite matchup, and I wish it wasn't. I mean, I know we're Central Time Zone, we can't really complain, but a 9:09 tip off. And honestly, this game's in Boston, isn't it? This game's out on the East Coast. It's in so Illinois, Iowa State played at the TD Garden, so it's 9 o'clock. I'm complaining that game doesn't tip off till 10 o'clock Eastern time, and it's the best game of the night. I think the matchup that we're most looking forward to, we talked about a little bit earlier how exciting Illinois has been. Let's talk about Iowa State a little bit. Their vaunted defense, really, and I don't know. I said last week that I equate Iowa State as like the closest college relative outside of the state of Minnesota to Minnesota sports, because they choke all the time. That's just what they are in my mind. I was waiting for them to do it again last weekend, and no, they've lived up to their billing so far as a 2 seed in this tournament. So, what are your thoughts on Iowa State?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's like two kind of opposite teams, right? Because you got Illinois that fills it up, but doesn't play great defense. And Iowa State honestly can do a little bit of both. They can play a lot of really good defense, and they also can score a decent amount. It kind of depends game to game. But, I mean, it's going to be tough for Illinois, I think. But then who knows? I mean, it's March. If Illinois starts on a 17-5 run, then it's like they really came to play and they have answers for the Iowa State defense. And so that one's tough. I'm definitely staying away from that game. If anything, I'm going to take the over because I just like scoring. I know Illinois is going to be able to hopefully continue what they've been doing. but Iowa State's defense is also really solid. So we'll see. I also think Iowa State should be able to score. Illinois' defense, they've been playing better, like I've mentioned, but I still think the total's 146. I'd probably see it about that, maybe a 75-75 kind of game. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to bet anything on that one. I almost like the other 3 games a little better as far as a betting perspective. But, yeah, that's what I got there.
Okay, yeah. See, when I looked at this line, I think that the total and the spread contradict each other. With Iowa State being favored, you would think the total would be a little bit lower on this game.
Mm-hmm.
So my personal opinion, I'm going to bet Illinois money line on this game. I really like the Illini. I'm going to keep riding it until it burns me. I think that's kind of what we do in March. And I know like the classic sports bettor will flame you for it, but it's really hard to bet numbers consistently in March because you do fall in love with teams. That's what happens this time of year. And I think I'm really attached to this Illinois team. I love betting them. I love playing all the underdog plays on them.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know. Are they good enough defensively to win a national championship? That's the burning question right now. And really, they haven't been tested on that one too much just yet. So
yeah.
We'll see.
That'll be fun. My only qualm, actually, and I believe it's the same kind of deal on both days, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, it is. They have 4 games each day. Why are 2 starting just about at the same time as each other? Why aren't we having like a noon, a 2:30, a 5:30, and 8:30? I mean, I don't get it. I understand. I'm sure there's TV deals and rights, and you got to just go with what time they tell you. But a 6:09, a 6:39, an 8:39, and a 9:09. I mean, they're just about the same time. I want to enjoy each game when it seems like I'm going to be, going from screen to screen for 2 games twice that night. So that's my only qualm. But I mean, it is what it is.
It's all for TV, but like these regions couldn't be on more opposite. Like we're in LA and then we're in Boston and we're starting at the same time. Like to me, you could play literally the first 2 games.
Yeah.
I know you're dipping into the earlier, which they don't want to do for TV reasons. But yeah, I mean, I just the time of that Illinois game starting is ridiculous. Like you couldn't do the 2 East games early and then the 2 maybe the 2 West games later. I don't know, something like that. But you could jumble it up a little bit more, in my opinion. I agree there. But as we get over to Friday, I think the Friday games are
awesome.
So good. And it starts off with the NC State team that we love so much against Marquette. I don't know. I might be a little crazy here, but like to me, I think NC State is the team in this game. They're 6.5-point dogs.
Wow.
Marquette looks amazing. It looks like this looks like the Marquette team that we saw in November and like they're going to win a national championship. And then Shaka Smart just absolutely fumbled the bag every which way. Tyler Kolek got hurt. He's back. He's looking amazing. I don't know. I like to think NC State, like just this is the type of teams that March is made of. And we don't have like any Cinderella stories left. They're the only one. So if there's going to be one, it's got to be them. Right.
I hear you on that point for sure. I was almost going to throw a sizable wager on Marquette -6. But now I'm scared after you said that. So,
I don't know if I'm going to bet. Like, I'm not going to take money line. I don't even know if I'm going to take the 6.5. I think I just have to, like, for the sake of March Madness, I think I have to just enjoy this game as it's our last chance to have
100%.
a double-digit seed in the Elite Eight, right?
I totally agree. Yeah, maybe I might shift to the over 51, possibly. I know Marquette can fill it up pretty good as they typically do, but NC State's been scoring decent points too. I mean, their last 6 games, 83, 74, 73, 84, 80, 79. And, they put up 84 on North Carolina. They put up 74 on Duke. I almost like the over in this game, but I'm not entirely sure on it. I might just not bet it. We'll see.
Yeah. And I really like Tyler Kolek. Like, I stayed away from him in their first game. He had a really low point total. I think it was like 12 or 12 and a half. And I was like, all right, well, we don't know how healthy he is. He said he's playing. We'll see how effective he is. He was very effective. And I think I gotta touch his point total in some way.
Yeah.
He has his PRA is pretty high. It's like 30 and a half, which understand it. Like, every time
Yeah,
that
he gets the
only goes as far as he goes.
Yeah, 100%.
So
next one, maybe my favorite game on the slate.
Yep, definitely mine.
Gonzaga, Purdue. Is that who you were thinking of?
And so, for first things first here, of all the Gonzaga 1 seeds that we've seen in the Mark Few era, and this year they limp into the tournament, and I don't know, they look amazing.
I think I got to give them a whole lot more credit than I did like before the tournament starts. They look insane. Like, they are putting up insane numbers. They're playing pretty decent on the glass. We saw that they totally shut down Kansas in the second half. I know the first half was very close, but the second half they made the halftime adjustments, and I think Kansas only had like 21, 22 points in the second half. Gonzaga looks really, really good. I kind of absolutely love Gonzaga +6 here.
Yeah. And for me, I'm conflicted. I've already disrespected Gonzaga once in this tournament. I did pick McNeese State. And then I obviously knew Kansas wasn't going anywhere, but I have Purdue winning my bracket. They're my only hope left. So
I understand.
I have to stay away. I'm vested elsewhere. But this one, it's, to me, this is the perfect recipe. The perfect type of team to beat a team like Purdue, because they do
100%.
have solid guard play.
Yep.
They got a little bit of presence. They got a good scoring presence inside. Which I think the scoring big man, Ike is his name, I believe.
I think he might be the guy to shut down Edey.
I don't know if he's going to shut down Edey, but what I'll say is that Edey doesn't. The number one thing for Edey is he can't get in foul trouble. Right. So if their top scorer for Gonzaga is also a big man, he's gonna. If he can get it over Edey's crazy wingspan, I think that's kind of how you beat him. And then you'd have the veteran guard play, where we talked about Purdue being a little, a little maybe inexperienced or inconsistent there. But yeah, I don't know. Shut us up, right? Purdue got to this second weekend finally. What are you going to do with it now? You're probably not going to have Carson Edwards like you did last time, raining threes from 35 feet out. So can they do it with this boring, as Veach put it, boring brand of basketball? So I don't know. I don't want to bet this game. I'm just enjoying these games, honestly. That's the way I look at this. But I can't bet either of those first 2 games. I just can't. There's too much allure elsewhere for me to put some more grease on those wheels. But Duke and Houston.
Give me Duke. Give me all of Duke. Duke +4. Give me Duke money line. Really like this play. I'm going to be all over them. I have seen Duke play almost flawless basketball thus far, and I think, Houston could have easily lost to A&M last game. They got blown out by Iowa State a couple games ago. I think this is where Houston dies.
Fair enough. I hate to say it, but Duke is probably the right play here. Another thing, quick underdog thing. Jared McCain, his points, rebounds, and assists is 20.5. I might add he had his points, rebounds, and assists total in the first half
Yeah.
with time to spare.
Yeah.
In their game against JMU.
Wasn't he? He made like 6 3-pointers in the first.
It was insane. With 4 or 5 minutes left in the half, he had already hit his total PRA for the game.
Yeah.
So I had him in their first round game on that, so it's one that I keep coming back to, and it hasn't changed that much in numbers. So definitely going to go back to that one again here. And then one last game, and I don't think. I don't know. What do you think about this? Creighton Blue Jays, Tennessee Volunteers. What do we?
I'm going Tennessee here. I'm going to lay the number. I'm going to lay the number -2.5. I think Creighton. Are they going to hit 10 to 12 3-pointers? Because that's their game, right? They take a million 3-point shots. If they hit them, they're definitely tough to hang with. I just think that Tennessee is going to be able to kind of control the perimeter a little bit there. I'm going to lay the number here. Typically, I like to be on the dogs, but this one, I think Tennessee's wins. I think they win kind of handedly. I think it's going to be Tennessee by 8 to 12. I just think Tennessee's looked way too good so far. And then Creighton, I mean, they pretty much escaped the Oregon game. They could have easily lost that one. I'm going Tennessee here. I think this is where kind of you see teams separate themselves from the rest of the pack, and I think Tennessee is a Final Four team.
Interesting. See, I don't know. I was watching that Creighton game last week, and I thought almost the opposite, where I was like, they're exciting. I think they have the depth to almost outlast most teams in the tournament. Like, Oregon literally didn't have another ounce to give in that game.
As soon as it got to overtime, guys that scored 60 points.
Yeah, right. So I mean, between I'm gonna butcher the names. I know they have Trey Alexander,
Schreierman.
Baylor Shireman, and then who's the other? The guy who was good last year. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, he's the white though.
The other one.
The shooter.
Kalkbrenner. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So those three right there.
Have another 3-point guy. He transferred, I think, from Utah State.
Ashwood.
Ashwood. He's pretty decent too. Don't get me wrong. They can shoot, and it's been known. And they can do it whether they're going to be shooting from 3, which they shoot a lot of threes, or if they're going to take it to the rim. Alexander can do that too, but I just think Tennessee is too good, man, on both sides of the ball. We'll see. I'm going to be all over Tennessee here. I'm going to lay the number, no problem.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm intrigued by the Creighton team because they got so close last year. They got a lot of those guys back. A lot of those guys improved greatly. I think they are kind of they're tournament tested. Also is something where I think some of that experience comes into play. You know, Dalton Connect is as great as he is. I think where was he playing before this year? Like Northern Colorado or something?
Yeah, it was kind of no, but he's been lighting it up this year. But yeah, I mean, he definitely hasn't had the tournament experience per se, but
he's been killing it. You can't really make that complaint.
Just fine in there. He's making a lot of plays. And I just think Tennessee is a more well-rounded team. I love them here, but it's March, so I wouldn't be surprised if whatever happens.
Yeah. Real quick, do you have a revamped Final Four? Any changes to your Final Four national champion you want to make?
I don't. I like my Final Four right now. I have Arizona beating UConn. We'll see about that, of course.
For your future, of course. Yeah.
Yep. And then I did have in this bracket, I had Houston, but I think I'm not exactly sure if they're going to make it. I could easily see them losing Saturday. So we'll see. I'm all over Duke that game. So, but then I have Tennessee as well, beating Purdue. So We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But from what I've seen so far, I would pretty much stay with mine. Possibly move out Houston. I'm not super high on them, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the only thing I would have changed, I have Arizona going to the national championship against Purdue.
Okay.
I want to swap out Arizona for Illinois so
Sure.
bad. I want
Sure.
so bad. Like I said, I might get burned. I might get roasted for it next week. But yeah, right now, I really like that Illinois team. And
Yeah.
I think they're just a little bit deeper than Arizona.
Yeah.
But who knows? Could be a team of destiny.
Yeah. No, hey, I don't blame you. Illinois they've been looking really good, scoring at will. So, yeah. No, I mean, if you're not getting hot right now, you're going to lose. So, I mean, those are the teams that have been, getting the job done, doing what they need to do to win these games. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how this weekend goes. I'm really excited. These games are awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, so we talk so much basketball. I mean, it's been almost an hour of basketball talk.
Yeah.
There are a couple other things going on in the sports world. We have opening day this week. We have baseball. Like,
yeah, I know.
We're in Minnesota. I mean, it's done a winter's worth of snow this last week, and Twins are playing baseball in Kansas City on Thursday. What do we think about that?
Yeah, I mean, as a diehard fan, I gotta go. I got to go with the Twins, obviously. How could you not? You got Pablo on the mound, a pretty reasonable price at -1, I think 130 right now as you can get him at. Also, a usual play when Pablo pitches over, I think it's 5.5, possibly 6.5 strikeouts are the ones that I like to go to. So I'll definitely be on those. I'm not sure how big, but definitely going to be betting those. I'll be watching the game. Obviously hope they win. And then just another play. I'm going to play the Dodgers run line every game. I'm just going to continue to do it. I did it last year, a lot of the games. I'm going to do it every year, every game this year. The Dodgers are just so damn good. They're just so good. The lineup's insane. So I'm going to play the Dodgers. I almost really like the Padres. Darvish is pitching at home. I think it's a -110 there. So yeah, I think that's probably all I'll bet. Typically, I like to have a good amount of plays opening day. Super excited, but I think those will probably be it for me.
So, Sammy, you big on the Dodgers, huh? So
Yeah.
you speak Japanese? You've been in with Otani's translator or something? You know something we don't, or
$4.5 million coming out of Otani's wallet, and he just doesn't know about it or whatever. Yeah, what a story that is.
simple accounting error, right?
It's really crazy. That is nuts. I wonder how deep that goes into like getting to the bottom line of that. Or if it kind of gets swept under the rug and it's just let's play baseball, like story kind of goes away. But yeah, I mean that's just insane, and I don't know if it's true or not as far as like the details surrounding the whole thing. I heard that like possibly a big wager was made on one of Otani's games in Japan for like $4 million or something crazy. Again, I don't know how accurate these assumptions are, but
the numbers match up. The
They
$4.5 million from his account, and there
Yeah.
was a $4.5 million bet placed at Resorts World in whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does. It adds up, and it reeks of guilty.
Yeah.
Obviously. Part of me thinks Otani was just betting on these games, and his translator took the bullet for him.
Yeah. Hey, don't get me wrong. I love putting the tinfoil hat on. I really do. But honestly, in this situation, the first thing I think of is Pete Rose. It's like, goddamn, he's got to be punching air right now. Looking at this, and again, I think if you're Manfred and you're trying to protect your star now, he's gonna have to reveal it, and they're gonna have to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
I think so too. They got to do it. They got it because the amount of money that the MLB makes off Shohei Ohtani is astronomical, right? So there's no way that they can lose this guy. And yeah, they gotta tell Pete, they gotta call up Pete, say, hey Pete, we'd like to be in the Hall of Fame. We kind of have to do it now.
That's my spin zone. That's my spin zone. Put Pete in.
Yeah. I mean, he deserves it. It was just made some decisions he probably shouldn't have back then. But yeah, that's a wild story. I'm intrigued to find out more about it for whatever comes out of it. We'll see.
Right on. So yeah, we got March Madness opening day, and then college hockey regionals, the Frozen Four this year in St. Paul, coming up in a couple weeks. If you guys are watching, check out the 10K Twitter. We have a Frozen Four bracket challenge going right now, and I believe the prizes are going to be announced tomorrow. We got some sweet prizes. It's totally free as well. All you need is your phone number to sign up. So check the link out on our Twitter or Instagram. And yeah, do you have a winner for the Natty?
You know, I really didn't go deep into college hockey. I mean, I think this is more of a Veach question. If you're still on here, Veach, he's our college hockey guy. I think just based on what I've heard, BC or BU seems to be like the kind of consensus on you know, the team that's going to go all the way. As far as some of the other you know, like Minnesota, North Dakota, a few of the other ones, I'm really not sure. I didn't watch a ton of college hockey this year at all. So I pretty much don't have much opinion on that, but should be interesting. Obviously, you know, the Frozen Four being in St. Paul is really fun. I'm sure I'm going to have some wagers on that because it's after March Madness, I think. So, but as far as like picking a team right now and telling you why, I don't have a ton for you. I've just heard BC and or BU are both really, really good. But other than that, I'm sure those are the chalk. So I don't really know if there's any sleepers. I know the Gophers are typically pretty good. So maybe taking them at 10-1, something like that might not seem horrible. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got. How about you?
Yeah, no, I filled out my bracket today. I went chalk. I have BC over Minnesota in the national championship. I think that would be just so fitting for Minnesota sports, for the Minnesota Golden Gophers to lose a national title at home in St. Paul. So I had to pick it. I myself am a Mankato grad.
Very fitting.
So, yep, I'm a Mankato grad. So the Mavericks did not make it this year. So yeah, I kind of want to root for the Gophers, but I don't think I can do it.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they can avenge their natty loss last year. But yeah, games start on Thursday. So yeah, get your brackets in and try to win some cool prizes.
Join the pool. Yeah.
All right. That's all we got for tonight. I mean, that was a lot more than I was expecting for just the two of us, but there's so much going on in the sports world.
Yeah.
So yeah, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, 10K Bets.
Yep.
Check it out, and we'll be back.
Tuesday we'll be back a week from today, same time, 8:30. We'll have Elite Eight talk, which will be great. Probably dip into some Twins, depending on see how they're doing there, just starting their season. So yeah, should be good. Thanks for following along. We'll be back at you in a week.
Yeah, take care. Let's win some bets this weekend.
That's right. We'll see you, fellas.
Yeah.